Can you imagine New York City coming to a halt? The city that never sleeps, now gasping for breath? Welcome to the reality that New York City is grappling with today. A crisis of unprecedented magnitude. The Big Apple finds itself in a chokehold, and at the heart of this crisis, the rising costs associated with immigration. Remember, we're talking about a city that has always been a melting pot of cultures, a city that's been built by immigrants. But today, it's facing a challenge that's proving to be a steep uphill battle. Now let's talk about the man at the helm, Mayor Eric Adams. He's got the unenviable task of trying to alleviate this financial burden. Just to give you a sense of the scale of the problem, recent data reveals that the city is shelling out a staggering $387 per day just to house each immigrant in taxpayer-funded shelters. That's a significant chunk of change, wouldn't you agree? Now don't get me wrong, Mayor Adams is making strides to reduce this expense, but it's like trying to stop a runaway train. The costs are mounting and the city's resources are being stretched thin. But that's not all. The city's woes are being compounded by the trucker boycott, a move triggered by support for Donald Trump following a $355 million fraud verdict against him. This is causing significant disruptions in the city's supply chains and economy. It's a sobering reminder of how politics, economics, and individual livelihoods are so intricately intertwined. So here we are, with the city that never sleeps, finding itself in a bit of a nightmare. A nightmare that's casting long shadows over its bustling streets and towering skyscrapers. A nightmare that's brought the city to a grinding halt. The city that never sleeps now finds itself in a nightmare it didn't anticipate. Adding fuel to the fire, the trucker boycott of New York City, a direct result of support for Donald Trump following a $355 million fraud verdict against him. How is this affecting the city? Imagine this, the city that never sleeps, now at the mercy of a trucker boycott. That's right, the bustling arteries of New York, once teeming with the lifeblood of commerce, are now eerily quiet. The truckers, who once kept the city's pulse pounding with a steady rhythm, have hit the pause button. And with this pause, we are witnessing a city in the throes of a crisis like no other. You see, these truckers aren't just drivers, they are the lifelines of New York City. They bring in food, fuel, and all the essential goods that keep the city alive and kicking. But now, they stand in solidarity with Donald Trump. Their wheels silent, their trucks idle. And the city? It's feeling the pinch. This isn't just about a group of truckers supporting Trump. No, this is about the delicate dance of politics, economics, and individual livelihoods. It's about the power of collective action in a digital age. A protest, not with placards and marches, but with the absence of movement, the silence of engines. It's a boycott that speaks volumes, ringing out across the city's deserted highways and silent warehouses. The impact is significant. Supply chains are disrupted, shelves are empty, prices are soaring. The ripple effect extends far beyond the city's borders, affecting rural farmers, manufacturers, and consumers alike. The economy, already grappling with the financial strain of housing immigrants, is now faced with another daunting challenge. What's clear is this: the city's heartbeat is linked to the hum of truck engines, the flow of goods, the exchange of commerce. But now, that heartbeat is faltering. The lifelines of the city, the truckers, are choosing to stand down. They're making a statement loud and clear. And the city? It's left grappling, trying to find its rhythm amidst the silence. The city's heartbeat is faltering as its lifelines, the truckers, choose to stand down. Joining the chorus of concern, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo criticizes the federal government's handling of the migrant problem. A seasoned political figure, Cuomo is no stranger to the rough and tumble of governance, and this issue is no exception. Cuomo, who has often found himself at the center of the immigration debate, paints a stark picture of the situation. He asserts that the federal government's approach to the migrant issue is, in his view, the worst mistake the nation has ever made. This is a strong statement, but it carries the weight of Cuomo's experience and understanding of the implications of this crisis. He's not just speaking about the national level, though. Cuomo is acutely aware of the strain this places on his home state, and more specifically, New York City. As a sanctuary city, New York has long been a beacon for immigrants seeking a better life. Yet, this status also means it bears a heavier load than most, a reality that Cuomo is quick to emphasize. The city, he points out, is not only grappling with the rising costs associated with immigration, but is also contending with the significant disruptions brought about by the trucker boycott. In many ways, New York City is in the eye of the storm, dealing with a convergence of crises that threaten to overwhelm its resources and resilience. Cuomo's words serve as a reminder of the deeply interconnected nature of our society. The migrant issue isn't just a political talking point, it's a real, tangible issue that has far-reaching implications. It affects our economy, our infrastructure, and our very way of life. And for New York City, a city built on the strength and diversity of its immigrant population, the stakes are particularly high. This isn't just about pointing fingers, though. Cuomo's criticism is a call to action, a plea for a more thoughtful, compassionate, and effective approach to a complex issue. As the crisis deepens, the call for action grows louder and more urgent. As we navigate these turbulent times, these words serve as a rallying cry for us all. New York City, once a symbol of dreams and possibilities, now finds itself in a crisis of unprecedented proportions. A city that never sleeps is now grappling with a financial nightmare, brought on by rising costs associated with immigration and the unexpected truckers' boycott. The city that was once a beacon of opportunity is now burdened with a $387 per day expense for each immigrant in taxpayer-funded shelters. The trucker boycott, a ripple effect of the Trump-supported protest, underscores the vulnerability of our urban economies. It's a clear message that politics, economics, and individual livelihoods are more intertwined than we ever imagined. This scenario is not just about New York. It's a reflection of our times, a sign of the emerging trend of economic protest in the digital age. In a city renowned for its resilience, the question now is, how will New York rise from this crisis? Only time will tell.